Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Realtor Reacts. Before we get started here today, I have a little bit of a secret to tell you. I do have to kind of pre-screen some of these videos. I was sitting at an open house earlier, looking through a couple things. I started watching maybe the first 4 or 5 minutes of a video just to kind of see if there was anything in there that we might derive some value from, something that I could comment on. And I got to tell you, there was, I looked at about 4 or 5 videos, and I was like, there's just nothing here to really work with. Um, I came across this gentleman. I've seen his content before, scattered about. I'm not very familiar with him. I was reading through this right up here. Best I can tell, his channel was about something else prior to. I had to reread this first sentence a few times, and I think what he's saying is that in 2022, his content has shifted to almost exclusively about the villages. So we're going to look through kind of his library here real quick and just see. I was watching a video of his earlier that I found interesting. And I think if I can find that video again, I probably won't be able to find it again because now we're live. Um, but let's see what we can get into here. Okay. I like this. 5 reasons I hate the villages. I never thought I'd say those words. This is interesting because this is a trend that I'm seeing on YouTube, where the videos that have the highest counts aren't necessarily outlining the positives, but are diving more into the negatives. And I think part of what's happening there is that it kind of feeds into our apprehensions about, what are you not telling me, right? What is the information that's not being shared in this salesy presentation that's going on, and where can I secure that information, but on the internet, from people who are going to tell me the absolute truth. And that's not to say that anybody's being malicious or misleading intentionally. I just find it interesting that that's kind of our go-to mechanism there. The other thing I noticed is that folks tend to be gravitating towards YouTubers and content creators and vloggers who are resident based, meaning that they live in the villages. And I understand the appeal there because it's like, well, I'm getting an on-ground report. So as I'm doing Realtors React, I'm discovering these kind of corners of YouTube myself for the first time, and I'm getting some interesting impressions about what works and isn't working as far as the YouTube audience is concerned. This has been a learning experience for me, and we're going to go ahead and dive into this video. I think this is I don't know what he's going to say. I didn't pre-watch this one at all, so hopefully there's something here. It's a short video, so hopefully there's something here that we can work with and get some value out of. Let's see what Gary Abbott, or okay, Mr. Abbott, has to say on his 5 reasons to hate the villages.
This video is long overdue. I know people have requested this before. I was reluctant to do it, but here comes the 5 reasons to hate the villages. So here we go. We're going to go right into it. Number 1 reason to hate the villages is traffic and roundabouts. Winter especially, with all the snowbirds that come in and everything that's going on in the winter and all of the people. There's only one solution to it, is get yourself a golf cart. Don't get on the roads. Get out of the roundabouts. Traffic is number 1. Number 2, noise. Noise is number 2. Why? Party every night. If you live by a square or an entertainment area, guess what? Music, music, music.
Okay. All right. Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to have fun today. Um, traffic. Traffic is number one. Yeah, yeah. In all of my years, I've had maybe 2 customers come back to me and tell me that the traffic is challenging or undesirable, or at the very very extreme end of things, a reason not to consider the villages. Um, roundabouts. Roundabouts are something that you get used to, right? Um, when I first encountered them when I moved here in 2008, yeah, roundabouts were strange and it took some time. And now I can't live without them, right? It's kind of funny when I don't have a roundabout, I miss them. But I've learned how to move in and out of a roundabout pretty efficiently. Um, but I have had folks who tell me that the roundabouts make them nauseous and drive them crazy. So yeah, I can certainly validate that here today. Traffic swelling during season. It's this is going to be an unpopular opinion. The amount of traffic present in the community during season, January, February, March. Um, you could expand that definition to include April if you like. Is really the amount of traffic that should and would normally be present based on the number of homes built. It's not like the population swells. It's not like the design of the community isn't there, at least post 2003, to contend with the amount of traffic that's anticipated based on the housing count. I think a lot of times what it is that we become accustomed to lesser traffic during the off season, and so when season comes around, it's like, oh my goodness, you know, the accurate amount of cars for the number of homes that exist in the villages is on the roads, and I have to contend with these additional 3-4 cars in front of me. Somebody somewhere down the line here, I'm sure, is going to say something about waiting at the restaurants as well. There's this is like walking straight and then being asked to walk uphill. Um, so okay, I don't know if that's a thing to hate about the villages, but yes, I mean traffic is a thing you're going to have to contend with anytime you have a larger geographical space.
Entertainment, who can stand it, really?
Right. So if you bought a home near an entertainment venue, and I had a listing years back that was next to the high school baseball field. It was a patio villa neighborhood that backed up to the high school. It's not like we were unaware, right? I mean, surely we understood how close of proximity that home is to an entertainment venue. That's probably why you bought it, because it was so close and convenient. Um, that's interesting. That's interesting that we can take that and turn it into a negative. I can't wait to hear the rest of this.
Really, come on. That's the number 2 reason to hate the villages. Number 3, friendly people. Come on. Why
Okay, I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. All right, go ahead.
would you put so many people that are nice to each other in one area? Come on, the villages. Why would you do that? Horrible. It is horrible. Number 4, real estate. The real estate values, whether the stock market's plunging, the market's crashing, inflation is going crazy, and real estate values stay the same or go up in the villages.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm good at my job, but let's keep watching the video.
Horrible. Why would anybody want to do that? We shouldn't just suffer like the rest of the country. Come on, that's just horrible. Number 5. I love this one. Activities. Who wants to join a club? Participate in sports? Who wants?
There's just too much to do. There's too much. I swear I did not pre-watch this. Okay, I legitimately, based on the title, and I think Gary or Mr. Abbott here discovered the same thing that I discovered. If you put some type of negative in the title, you get more traffic on your video. I love this. I love this subversion of expectations that he's done here. Yeah, you could argue this is a little clickbaity, but I love what he's doing with it. So let's keep going. He's basically outlining now. He's gone into the strengths. He's gone into the strengths, and he's trying to make it seem absurd that anybody would look at these as negatives.
Wants to do that? What is it? Summer camp year around for retirees? Horrible. Just horrible. So there's my 5 reasons to dislike, hate the villages. I hope you get it. These are all
We get it.
things that are great about villages, but I just couldn't resist that I know somebody out there is going to watch this video and think, what is he talking about? Somebody, I will tell you in the comments from people who don't live in the villages, they criticize everything. But I'm looking at it, if you're going to hate the villages, hate it for what it is.
See, you see that? You see that right there? Right there? That's a smile. This man is smiling in his video about hating the villages. He's smiling because he's in the villages. Make a note, write that down in your decision-making guide.
It's wonderful. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like this video.
Well, I will do that. I will subscribe. Let me find that button. There it is, and I will hit the like. You know what? I'm not going to do that on my channel. I don't care to do that. All right. Well, that was a short video. Not really much to dive into there. Let's go ahead and see if we can't find another short video here, because I don't want to cheap out. We only post this once a week, right? So you don't want to cheap out. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a little too long. All right, let's see if this title. Let's
Where
see
others
if
see
this. We don't need that. Let's see if this My Village rant isn't a little bit more authentic to the title of the video. I suspect this is going to be a similar situation, but hey, maybe I could be wrong. This right here, see, I want to grab this real quick. This is a video that I was pre-watching, and I was going to do this one today. We might do this one next week, because right out the gate there were a couple things that I wanted to address on this one. So you think younger folks know a little bit more about the computers? That's not always the case. That's not always the case. I know a thing or two, but I would be lost without my wife, who every time there's a Zoom meeting, it's like, honey, how do you do the thing where I see the people on the Zoom? All right, let's give the man his due audience.
Phew, I just had a Jerry and Linda moment. I started recording and my wireless system was dead. I noticed that I didn't have any sound. Hopefully the sound here is much better. I plugged in my elaborate microphone to get you some good quality sound. Welcome to my channel, Gary Abbott. I do a lot on the villages, sometimes camera gear. I've been doing a lot of that stuff. I just got back from the gym, and I decided to make a video, kind of a rant and rave a little bit. People that don't like the villages probably will like this video. It's not my intent. I really do like the
Oh, this is going to be fun.
villages, but I'm getting tired of the rant and raves. Roundabouts, come on, roundabouts do a couple of things, even though some people haven't figured them out, what lane to be in, that kind of stuff.
Driving in a circle could be more challenging than you might think.
You'll figure it out. But they slow traffic. They definitely slow the speed. If it was just a straight go, you know how fast people would be going down Morse Boulevard? It would be ridiculous. Instead, yeah, you got to do roundabouts, and you only want to do so many. I can tell you, I've done many trips up and down Buena Vista, Morse, even Megason. Roundabouts slow you down. Now, there are some gaps in between the roundabouts where people.
Yes, they do. But believe it or not, as much as roundabouts slow you down and slow the pace of traffic, stoplights would be far more detrimental in moving traffic, particularly on these main north-south running roads, Morrison, Buena Vista through the community. You would not want to see a estimated drive time comparison between roundabouts versus stop and go traffic. And to a certain degree, and it was never intended this way, but it is true, to a certain degree, you'll be cruising down Morris or Buena Vista, and you will hit one of these straights, and instinctively you're going to do 45, 55, because it's just a comfortable speed to move, and that's not the speed limit. I'm surprised that we don't have more ticketing happening in those spaces. Most of the ticketing happens on North Morris, in my opinion, based on my observations. But yeah, I mean, without those roundabouts, you'd be flying.
Get up a little speed. So my part 2 of this rant is, what is up with everybody? Oh, speeding. Everybody says, oh, everybody's speeding. We got to have the police do more enforcement. I got to tell you a story. In New Hampshire, we had a representative that was complaining all the time, a House representative in the state, complaining about a certain intersection, two highways coming together and ramps, and people were going too fast. And he was complaining to the state police to get out there and ticket people and slow them down. Well, the ironic part is, guess who was one of the ones they ticketed when they set up? The rep. The rep. Be careful what you wish for.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that there is some hypocrisy in our governmental system? No. I don't believe it. I refuse. It's fake news. I don't believe it. Let's continue.
When you're all out there, I get it if it's a safety hazard, but if it's just you, like, not letting somebody else go by you or something, let it go. Let it go. It's a retirement community. If it's noisy or you have a real complaint, I agree. But I think people are jumping on bandwagons. You see the posts. It's just crazy. Then you go.
I just realized this is a 15-minute long video. I thought it said 5 minutes. I need to get my eyes checked. Yeah, so speeding, like I said, roundabouts, kind of pacing out the speed a little bit, unintentional consequence of having roundabouts. I still think roundabouts are superior to stoplights and intersections, particularly on those major roads. But as I had noted, yeah, you're gonna step on that pedal because you have no obstructions. And here's the thing, right? If we had more collisions and accidents on these main roads, I could understand a little bit stronger enforcement in an effort to kind of tamp that down. But that's just not the case. And there's been numerous occasions where I will be traveling from the south end to the north end of the community on one of these, longer roads, Morris and Buena Vista. And I'll find folks on the side of the road in need of help. I had a situation one time where there was a gentleman who just dropped off his wife at work. He had this adorable little puppy out. He had this big old diesel truck. And I know it was diesel because I took him to the gas station with my gas tank. We had to go back to the house to get my gas tank, which was right around the corner from where we were. We ran over and we got some diesel and we filled up his truck. So we're not going too terribly fast if I'm able to pull over on the side of the road comfortably and assist. Anyways, that's has nothing to do with the speeding part, but
Go to part 2 of this and you go, the gates. Everybody asks questions on the gates. Okay, here's how they work. They put up gates for the villages. Each individual village, you get pass cards so you can put them on your, you can get little stickers or stuff, put on your mirror.
Residents and renters.
This, so you don't have to hold this card, or you go through the visitor lane and you hit a little red button and the gates open. But all of this, like, how soon will they be knocked over? Why are there gates here? There shouldn't be gates here. Come on. I like the gates.
Little history lesson. The villages, from my understanding, was intended to be a gated community. This was the fad at the time. This would have been early 90-ish. Was intended to be a gated community. And then somewhere in the I want to say it was the mid to late 90s, maybe early 2000s, somebody noticed that the roads were public. And you couldn't obstruct. I think the ruling was you could not obstruct access to public roads. And so that whole gated community thing kind of fell to a wayside. But they continued on with the gates and the gate guards. When I worked with properties of the villages, the notion there was that they wanted a friendly face there, particularly at the main junctions, right? The idea was that that person could provide transportation support, directions, answer questions. Now, in practical application, despite being a retirement community, people are people. And if you stop at a gate and you're asking directions and you've got a line of cars behind you, particularly on one of these major roads, that's probably, you're not going to be anybody's favorite resident that particular day. That's probably not going to work out. But I have seen on numerous occasions where folks will stop at the gate going into a particular village, and they'll talk to the gate guard. I've done it myself. Not that I needed directions. I just, check in on them, see how they're doing that particular day. They're residents. They live here too. So they're our neighbors, and we want to make sure that our neighbors are doing well and that they're in a good emotional and mental space. Let's keep going.
The gates do a bunch of things. They slow down traffic. Most of the time, there is golf cart crossing the road behind the gates. It's great for the people riding in a golf cart to know, hey, the gates are down, no cars are coming. It's good.
I want to jump on a little soapbox here for like a minute, maybe less. When I'm going through a gate and I see golf cars lined up on the right-hand side and on my left-hand side, and at the gate in particular, there's like this little center cove section here, okay? I stop. I make a point of stopping traffic behind me to let golf cars go. One or two from each side, right? Because there is no governing apparatus there. There is no light or anything like that. The gate guard doesn't have any influence. Once you're past the gate, this interaction is going to happen past the gate. So the gate guard can't do anything about it, right? It's just a courtesy thing. It's just, let's just recognize that everybody needs to get somewhere, okay? Hopefully you left with enough time to be courteous to your neighbor. All right, I'm going to jump off that soapbox now.
Gates are good. The other part is that when you don't want the the speeding traffic on the road. You just don't want that. The gates help slow that down. I like the idea that it takes a picture of your vehicle when you go through for people who are not residents and who push the button. There is at least some monitoring. It's not a gated community like there's a guard there that no one absolutely can come into your property. But I like the gates. And all of this, like, we don't need the gates. We like the gates. We hate the gates. How many times are going to get knocked over? Hey, anybody knocks them over, they got to pay. They go out.
So he said the gates have arms, and people smack into the arms and knock the gate arm off with their vehicle because they're coming in too fast. We might also be, and dare I suggest, we're enjoying the lifestyle a little bit beyond the legal limit, and we're not judging the distance between our stopping and the gate arm. The cameras on the gates are kind of really awesome, right? Since I've been here, I'm aware of, off the top of my head, at least 3 robberies, right? And one of the major things we talk about on the sales side of things is the low crime rate. There have been 3 robberies, and all 3 robberies, because I followed up on this, were solved within 24 hours, and almost all of the removed stolen property was returned, and the persons were prosecuted, of course. So, but that investigation starts with the gate cameras, right, and the license plate numbers, and backtracking. We know the robbery occurred during this window of time. Let's look at the traffic in and out of the neighborhood. Okay, because a lot of neighborhoods, there's only one way in and out. There's a few neighborhoods where there's multiple entrances, but even there, we just check both gates, and we kind of see who's coming and going, and we can also run, then not us, but I'm saying the sheriff's department can run the plates. Suffice it to say, it is a powerful tool for local law enforcement to utilize to identify persons of ill intent.
After them. You don't want to pay the $500 or whatever it is. So let's get off that. The other third item that people complain about is usually after they get into a property and they say, oh, that transformer box, I don't like that, or I want this moved, or hey, you bought there. There is some responsibility of picking your house and picking what the surroundings are. I mean, even people who like the Villages grows. If you're up to an empty field that's going to be, the Villages is going to expand into, expect houses. Expect houses. Don't think it's going to be the way it is the day you moved in and forever, and you have control. You have control of what you bought. The acreage, the acre, the point whatever acre, that's yours. So that's part of the thing. But I know there's been some fatalities with golf carts, and I agree that the rules of the road, maybe not everybody knows it, but I did see a post where somebody got $166 ticket for passing someone out of.
Okay, we had a little bit of a minor interruption. The recording cut off. That happens from time to time. Let's go ahead and jump back into this. Let's pull the video back. Can we do that? Can we do it? Yes, we can. How about right about here?
Of the cart lane that's in the road. So when you're sharing the road with carts, they were in the cart lane. They were going slow, and another golf cart came up and passed them. Now, I have sympathy there. I've rented golf carts in the Villages, and they're governed down. They go 17. They don't go 20. And you feel like you're chugging when somebody else with their own private golf cart comes flying up on you. I kind of want them to pass me. I don't want them to be stuck behind me complaining about my slow cart. Many in the villages do know that you have carts that are rented that are governed down. You have slower carts, you have faster carts. But I didn't know that that was a rule. And I'm still questioning the rule because it doesn't fit with any kind of the striping that is kind of highway safety striping. I mean, double yellow means don't pass, but a single white line on the edge of the road where it's usually the breakdown lane where they're allowing the golf carts. I didn't know you couldn't overtake there because you can come out of that lane to turn left. So there just seems to be something amiss with the person that got a $166 ticket. That's a lot for passing a golf cart that was going very slow. Um, a lot of people recommended to that person to just contest it, go contest it, state the case that the cart in front was going slow. The only thing that I don't know in that case is the police officer had to be awful close. So did you pull out in front of the police officer that was going down the road? That would be a concern. And everybody wants to change whatever the villages did, like
Okay, so I want to touch on a couple of points here, and then we're going to wrap the video up because it's getting a little long. I hate to cut off in the middle of this, but this seems like a good. It looks like he's going to transition to another topic here. So golf car fatalities. Yeah, that that is a concern. That is an occurrence. I have seen too many of these situations. Your golf car versus my vehicle. That's not a good matchup. Even if I'm moving at legally acceptable speeds, given the circumstances, depending upon the situation, how the interaction occurs, it's not going to end well for the golf car, or more specifically for the persons upon it. Um, this is a challenge and really a plea on my part, to be very vigilant of the golf cars. We do share road space. Golf cars have their own lane um, throughout the neighborhoods in a lot of cases. Um, when we're dealing with the major roads, Morris and Buena Vista, for the majority of those roads, they have their own golf cart paths. So they're not interacting with the mainline traffic. The only time this is not the case is North Morris. And you need to be hyper vigilant on North Morris because that's where a lot of these unfortunate incidents occur. Because the cars are moving at about 30, 35 miles an hour, and golf cars are moving at about 17 to 20 miles an hour. The reason that individual probably got a ticket, and I'm not law enforcement, I'm not a traffic expert by any stretch of the imagination, but there is a thing, a street legal golf car, right? And if you're coming out of the golf car lane and you're getting into the main flow of traffic on the street, and you are not a street legal golf car, you're not supposed to be there, and you can get ticketed for that. Your vehicle is not rated to be in the street, even in a passing scenario. Um, yeah, I can only imagine if you're capable of, if you don't have a governor on, and you're capable of doing 20, 25 or more in your golf car, and you're stuck behind 12 to 17 miles an hour. Yeah, you're probably your inclination is probably going to be to pass. I did have a golf car, a four-seater, for a good period of time. I didn't have a governor on mine. And I got to tell you, handling that is very different than handling a motor vehicle. She tends to be top heavy. If you take a corner, getting into some of these speeds that thing was capable of, you can flip her. You can seriously injure yourself on these. So let's be responsible with operating the golf cars. This has been fun. This is not the conversation and the reactions that I thought we were going to be doing today. But that's the great thing about Realtor Reacts is we're going to get into some surprising conversations and stuff here with this series. I would have never thought to do this on the Insight series, talk about traffic and the gates and everything like that. I guess we'll see how this video does to kind of figure out if there was any real interest in those topics. But hey, Mr. Gary Abbott here. I suspect he's probably going to be a regular on Realtor Reacts here. I do enjoy his content. I like his laid-back nature. I think we share a lot of the same humor. So that was that. This is going to be a long video, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Come back and visit with us again. Check us out on Wednesday for the Insight series. I'm going to do my best to try and keep up with the Sunday release schedule for the Realtor Reacts videos. I do have business. I do have folks that require my attention. So, but I'm trying to put stuff out here that can prepare you for the possibility of being a villager in the future. So, thanks so much for joining us. Come back and join us again when you can. Have a great day.